Massive reactions as Tinubu accuses Peter Obi of using Nadeco to discredit his election. Can you imagine? How can Peter Obi be using Nadeco to discredit Tinubu's election? And so Tinubu is accusing Peter Obi of this right now, and that is why it's attracting massive reactions. And the key thing is this: you are a member and a founding member of Nadeco. Peter Obi is never a member of Nadeco, has never been, and is not a member right now. So how can he, from the outside, come and influence Nadeco, to discredit your election? How? So that is a kind of accusation that that doesn't really hold water. All right, and I'm sure that's why it's attracting attention. By the time we go down, we'll see why people are reacting, because they are just looking for everything to rope Peter Obi in, even the ones that he doesn't know about. And that will not help the system. Rather, until the right thing is done, which is showing the world how you arrived at being the winner of the election, or INEC showing the world how they arrived at declaring you the winner. That is only when there will be peace. That is the truth. So let's see what he has to say more. The president-elect has reportedly accused Labour Party presidential flag bearer Peter Obi of using Nadeco US to discredit the recently concluded presidential election where he emerged winner. Recall that the group had earlier stated that the election was fraudulent and refused to acknowledge BAT as the winner. They are also set to bring in experts to interrogate INEC server and BVS in order to extract the original result. This was disclosed by Lloyd Uku, the executive director of the group. Reacting to the claims, Tinubu said through his special advisor, Dele Alake, that Uku was sponsored by Peter Obi to discredit the election. Can you imagine? Our attention has been drawn to an attempt by one Lloyd Uku, a United States-based Nigerian claiming to be the executive director of the National Democratic Coalition, Nadeco, to organize a press conference specifically intended to disparage and cast aspersions on the credibility of the 2023 presidential election freely and fairly won by the president-elect Bola Tinubu. Can you imagine? Did he freely and fairly win the election? Let's be frank. Was that election free and fair in any way? It was not. So it must be stated emphatically and without any ambiguity that Uku is an impostor, hell-bent on hoodwinking unsuspecting Nigerians in the diaspora and the international community to further a sinister agenda on behalf of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, who came a distant third in the last presidential election. Majority of Nigerians have spoken loud and clear that Asiwaju Tinubu is their choice to lead Nigeria from May 29, 2023. There is absolutely nothing Uku and his ilk can do to change this fact of history. So these are the tweets that we have here. One said, Nigeria's president-elect Tinubu accuses Peter Obi of using pro-democracy group Nadeco to discredit his election. Can you imagine? Someone say, Babatik say you go easy to run away with it, as he told his people. That's the thing. Okay? Tinubu thought that he would be able to run away easily with this election that he fraudulently claimed. It's not going to work. It's not going to be easy. Someone say you still the accused, the main worry never start. That's what they tell him. So you still the accused, the main worry never start, the accused. Someone say, take Nigeria is Lagos that you rig anyhow and they won't say anything. It's not going to work. Okay, people are making comments. Agbado drug lord, Nigerians didn't elect you as their president. You are forcing yourself on them. That is the thing. That's what somebody is saying there. Okay. If not that the Nigerian system that reward laziness, crime, all manner of corruption and crimes, fraud and illegalities, this one would have been in jail by now. And that is true. That is true. You haven't seen anything. Ask Chris Ngige. You must return that certificate by fire, by force, no matter how you blackmail against Obi, no matter your blackmail against Obi. That is what somebody is telling him there. And again, he first discredited himself when he said, I know you people did not vote for me. So that is what is happening. So Tinubu is still blaming Peter Obi of using Nadeco to discredit the election, saying that he freely and fairly won that election. Did he actually win that election in a free and fair manner? Because if he did, I don't think there should be reason to fear. I don't think there should be reason for INEC to stop, to prevent other political parties from accessing the election materials as is being challenged in court. So we really don't understand how Tinubu can go away with this, okay? Now, it is obvious that that certificate is going to be returned, but then I don't understand the game that INEC and the Judiciary is playing here too, because they are trying to delay this case until Tinubu is sworn in, then it becomes a Tinubu's case. He will put all his judges, put all his justices, and then the case will die natural death. But I just hope it doesn't get there. I just hope it doesn't get there, because if it gets there, then it's going to be very terrible for this country called Nigeria. This is not acceptable. Okay? You say you won, and instead of you to go along and cruise normally, you are blaming the opposition, still blaming the opposition for working against you. You have not started. The same way APC, when they came in 2015, they blamed PDP 16 years of rule as the reason they can't perform. 4 years down the line, 2019, they were still blaming PDP for their own non-performance. Now, from 2019 down to today, they're blaming other forces. They stopped blaming PDP. They are now blaming other opposition individuals as the reason they cannot succeed. Now, they have gone into election to hand over. They want to hand over to themselves. They rigged it. They rigged the election carelessly. And now they are blaming Peter Obi for working with Nadeco to discredit them. The question is, how can Peter Obi, that is operating from outside, that is not a member of Nadeco, how can Peter Obi now go and influence Nadeco to discredit Tinubu's election that he won? He actually did not win the election, and the whole Nigerians, both home and abroad, including international observers that came, have declared that the election was marred by rigging and irregularities, and it was obvious. Evidences are there. Okay, so let's see. There are a few comments. Let me just take one or two. Someone say, if you look at all the comments made by these obedience, you discover they are all Igbo. To hand over Nigeria to these brutes will be very difficult to. Can you imagine? Who are the brutes? Suleiman Obasa, obviously. Say, I just don't care. I just don't know why, because the election did not favor them. Can you imagine? They begin to blame Igbos because they feel Lord Uku is an Igbo man. But Tinubu was a disclaimer member of Nadeco. How can Peter Obi, an outsider, use Nadeco against Tinubu? Very laughable, and that is true. That is very, very true. Good question. And they can't answer that. They can't. Someone say, Baba, you did not win the election. You rigged and manipulated the election. Please return the obedience movement mandate back. Okay? May God never allow you to sit on that throne. Someone is already playing a very bad prayer. If you calculate APC, POP, and other parties vote, you will see that 18 million people don't want Obi. Who told you that 18 million people don't want Obi? You will still cry harder when the bad government will start. Already, Baba has promised that he will continue from wherever Buhari stopped. That means more trouble for Nigerians to come. So, Tinubu should go and find a way to resolve his issue and stop saying that Peter Obi is using Nadeco to discredit his election, because actually he did not win. Even though the case is in the court, but the whole world knows that he did not win. So thank you for listening. Let's have a comment.